Good afternoon, or whatever time of day it is that you're watching this. Welcome. If you're new here, my name is Minnie, or Debbie Wombold, the owner and operator of Minnie's Soaps. And if you aren't new here, you'll know that I plant and grow most of my own ingredients. I forage for them, I plant them, grow them. My hollyhock is like out of control. I forage for them, I plant them and grow them. I do use all natural ingredients in my soap and my products. So my homestead is full of ingredients, and so it's that time of year where I'm getting ready to do some seedlings for some herbs and some flowers and things that I want to grow around here. I've got calendula, I've got thyme, I've got some hollyhocks, I've got some milkweed, I've got sweet peas, and more hollyhocks. So that's what I'm doing. So I just thought I would let y'all see. So I've got my seed trays all set up here. And I'm just taking a pencil and getting, a little space made. So this year is kind of different for me. I'm adding some new things to the gardens. Hopefully some milkweed. I'm also adding, where are they? These. I picked these up the other week on our trip to the valley. This is white Swan Echinacea, so I'll be adding that. I also have a new hollyhock, and I picked that up in Cookville. That's just outside of Bridgewater. It's going to be really pretty. I don't have that color. I love hollyhocks for their color. They're a nice addition to my garden. They attract a lot of pollinators, bees, and hummingbirds. I also got this clematis the other day at Village Nursery. I love clematis too. I love their colors and all of that. So I'm going to start by sowing these calendula seeds. Now, last year I harvested my own seeds from my calendula. Well, I guess we should make a tag too before we forget what we're doing and forget what we're sowing and where. So yeah, last year I sowed my own calendula seeds, and then I tried to leave them in the ground to self-sow, and I'm not really seeing anything coming up just yet. So I just want extra insurance, and I'm going to grow some of these. These ones came from Yonder Hill Farms. That's a local seed producer here in Nova Scotia. They're a small family company. Amazing story. They're not sponsoring this video, by the way. So yeah, I'm gonna sow some calendula in here. When you're looking at your seeds, you're gonna see, especially if you get from like a small seed producer, you're gonna see some things in there that aren't seeds. So knowing what seed and what isn't is a good thing. That's something you really should pay attention to. So I think I'm gonna put 2 seeds in each hole here. Calendula is an amazing flower. I use it in my soaps, I use it in my salves. It's very good for your skin. It's healing. It's good. It heals cuts and scrapes and burns and all of that stuff. So I use a lot of it. I make infusions and make those infusions into products, and all of that great stuff. I also add it to soaps, and I have a plan to maybe have a tea made of it. It makes a very beautiful tea, very good for your stomach. So that's my calendula. Throw those down there. I'm just gonna cover them up. So I've got calendula done. Goes down. All right, so the next thing I have that I want to do is thyme. And this time I ordered online these thyme seeds from the Caribou Seed Company. That's a Canadian company also. I was impressed with their seeds. I bought rosemary transplants this year. My rosemary, I tried to overwinter it. It didn't work out. Mainly because I forgot to water it. We had it in our storage room and I just totally forgot to water it, which is not good. That needs to be watered as well. So got the thyme seeds here. These are so tiny. So let's put quite a few in each little module here. So what else is happening on the homestead? We are getting ready to get some pigs, and so that's taken up a lot of our time, and I'm hoping to do a video about the pigs and where we have them later on. So we're getting 2 pigs, and we're sharing them with a number of families for food source this winter. Okay, so I've got my calendula, I got my thyme. I think next thing also in this, I'll keep it all I think the next thing I'll sow in this is my sweet peas. I want to grow sweet peas because I love them and they attract a lot of pollinators. So let's do a tag. So yeah, getting pigs. Planning on getting most of my vegetables as transplants this year, because I just find it easier. I find it a lot easier on myself, and I find that I have better success that way. So I'll be soon picking up the transplants to go in here to get ready for potting outside. Instead of doing containers this year, we're doing grow bags. Containers I found were very difficult to maintain. So they would dry out really fast. They would crack and break. They were hard to move around if I had to move them. And I'm not a fan. So, and I'm hoping that the grow bags will last a lot longer than the containers did. Even though we used recycled containers, they were ice cream containers, they just didn't last, and I don't like all the plastic around. So it's grow bags this year. I ordered those online because I couldn't get the quantity that I need from local source, so I ordered those online. I tried to purchase all of my ingredients and all of my things as local as I can, because I know what it's like to struggle as a business person, and believe me, right now is a very, very scary time for me. Mostly because the cost of things is causing me a lot of stress. The cost of my ingredients has gone up sky high, and so I'm faced with the possibility of having to increase my prices, and I don't want to do that. So there we go. I'm just gonna cover those over. I bought this year the Pro Mix Mycorrhizae soil, and it's high porosity, so it's got a lot of perlite in it, you can see, and it's inoculated with mycorrhizae. Mycorrhizae is the beneficial bacteria or spores. I shouldn't say bacteria, it's the beneficial spores that help all living things grow. So mycorrhizae connects everything. Everything underground is connected by mycorrhizae. So everything underground communicates through mycorrhizae. So when I got the soil, I was really excited to see it already inoculated. And I must say it's really, really nice. Again, this video isn't sponsored by Pro Mix. I wish it was. Believe me, Pro Mix, hit me up if you want to, you know, if you want to sponsor me. So I've got these are all sweet peas. All right, so that's my first tray of seeds. I got calendula, thyme, and sweet peas in it. And until I get my shelves organized here, sit that down on the ground. I brought out some of my plants to repot from inside, like 2 holiday cactuses, and this is a peperomia that I had to repot. Goes in my head planter. So yeah, I've got those here, and they're just dripping off, kind of taking up space. So I like to use these plastic seed cups, and I do reuse them over and over and over again. If you're going to use plastic, you know, you sure should use them over and over again. And just, you know, I'm a big fan of recycling and reusing. I mean, this whole entire greenhouse is full of things that are being reused, including the seed trays. And some of them, you know, are from plants that I bought to plant in my yard. And so I feel better knowing that. So I'm hoping to get a tour of the homestead, a spring tour going within the next week or so to show you guys around. A lot of you are probably new because I have a lot of new followers this year. I think I'm going to plant these milkweed seeds. So I had a phone call, so I had to take my phone call. But while I was on the phone, I continued to plant. I've potted up some swamp milkweed, and right now I am potting some, I shouldn't say potting, I'm planting. It's planting, right? Anyway, I'm planting yellow hollyhocks. Yellow hollyhocks, I hope I can get them going. Last year, I just put them in the ground and they didn't come up. So fingers crossed. So I've got yellow hollyhocks, swamp milkweed, thyme, sweet peas, and calendula planted. So I have so many seeds here. The next thing I want to plant is the common milkweed. I was shocked. Can you see that? I shouldn't have been shocked because I know what milkweed's like, but there's probably going to be milkweed growing in my hair because those little fuzzy things were just all in my business, all over the place. So yeah, I went to get the common milkweed going here. Yeah, so I'm gonna get a tray. I'm running out of trays. Leave them all away with other things. So some of the cool things I have found are these heavier trays here. I think these were for I don't know what these were for, but I found them upcycling these. So let's get some common milkweed going. So yeah, I'm gonna get these seedlings going and then keep some for myself and sell some to make money for our Walk the Walk for Autism team. Last year I sold plants and it was a great way to make some money. So if you're not familiar with Autism Nova Scotia, they put programs on for people on the spectrum throughout their lifespan. So we're working on offering more for adults, and of course we offer for children. And so my son, Angus, he's my oldest. He has autism. He's autistic. And myself, I'm self-diagnosed as autistic. So it's a really big deal in our household, the autism thing. And so, you know, it's important to me. I sit on the South Shore chapter of Autism Nova Scotia, so I know firsthand what we've been up to as far as programs go. And I've enjoyed a lot of those programs myself for my family. So we have the walk every year, and that helps to raise money to put those programs on. And of course, the more money that we raise, the more programs that we can have. So, you know, that's one of the things that I want to do, is have a plant sale. Gardening was something that I've done all my life. I grew up on a farm. And so growing up on a farm, I learned a lot about growing things and got my love for plants and gardening from my mother and my grandmother, and my grandfather would always plant a garden every year, and so it's kind of my thing. It's become like a special interest for me too. If you know anything about autism, special interest is like a hyper-focused thing that you have. So you find that you enjoy something, and then you when you enjoy it, then you hyper focus on it and you want to learn everything about it and you want to do it, and that's all that you put your focus on. And for me, plants and gardening and having that as a hyper focus throughout COVID has been a big help for my mental health, because the more time I'm spending in the garden, the less time I'm spending on social media or watching the news, and just absorbing all of the things that are going on, things that I can't control, you know. So when the people are talking to you about, you know, getting outside and growing things, think about the fact that while you're doing that, you're not focusing on the things that you can't control. Your focus becomes the things that you can control. So this is a very tricky thing, these milkweed seeds. Now last year when I sold these, they sold really well. I bought the seeds for them last year, but I was given these seeds this year, so I'm really hopeful that I can get these growing. So something else that happens when you're growing is that mycorrhizae thing that I was talking to you about. Studies have shown that mycorrhizae and the aspects of soil actually help, because you absorb it into your bloodstream and it's a mood enhancer. So the other thing that I deal with a lot is chronic pain, and it's really difficult to be motivated to do anything when you're constantly in pain. It's difficult to want to move around. It's difficult. It's exhausting. And so having a garden to tend and having things that rely on me, both my children, my husband, my family, but also growing things and living things. We have pets, like we have a dog and we have guinea pigs. Having all of those that rely on me help me to be motivated to move around, to get up out of bed, to do what I need to do. Of course, there are days when I just simply can't. But you know what? Even if I do one small thing, even if I get up and water one plant, even if I get up and check around and see what's growing and what's blooming and blossoming, that's what's important. It's one step, you know, one step at a time. Some days it is really one step at a time. So, you know, all of this growing my own ingredients, having my own business. A lot of autistic people find it difficult to work in the mainstream workforce. We're creative people, and we are valuable people to the workforce, but it's the relationships, and it is, you know, communication and all of those things make it difficult for us. Certainly our intelligence is not lacking, but it's being able to communicate and do things like that can be difficult. So owning your own business can be really helpful. Okay, so, oh my gosh, this stuff is like everywhere. Very stimmy. It's very fluffy. So yeah, that's kind of how I operate. That's why I feel like my business has gotten as far as it has gotten, because if there is anything to read about making soap or making products, healing products, healing properties of plants, how to grow plants that are healing, or what plants are healing, all of those things my mind absorbs like a sponge. And so it's my special interest. So, you know, that's all helped me to realize my business, to use that to my advantage. I don't know if I've talked about autism on this, or even on my business page necessarily. We've just capped off Autism Acceptance Month, and I did do a little bit of talking about being an autistic person, and the self-realization of being autistic. So I did do a little bit of talking about that on there, but I don't think that I've talked about it here on YouTube. I had to get some water. So yeah, I don't think I've talked about that on my YouTube channel. There. So this was common milkweed. Let's put a tag. There. All right, so now I've got to make some space here to put these trays, and I want to put them up high. So I'm going to move things around here. So yeah, that's the plan for all of these seedlings. I mean, when you plant seeds, you don't get 100% germination. So it's really, time will tell. Time will tell whether certain things will germinate or not. That needs water badly. So that's the plan, like I say, with all these seeds and things. Last year was my first year having the greenhouse, and it was a huge asset to me, as far as getting things growing and keeping things growing. I had the best year for peppers I've ever had, which was amazing. I don't like hot peppers so much, but I do like bell peppers. So this year, like I say, I'm going to do a lot of transplants. Tomatoes are another thing in our house that we eat a lot of. I prefer the cherry tomatoes, so I'll be buying some of those. And cucumbers are another thing that, of course, we're going to want a lot of. We eat a lot of cucumbers. I'm going to want some lettuce. I never have luck with lettuce. With like planting my own lettuce. but this year I have a plan for seedlings. So I'm thinking I'll be pretty successful. I should turn these around so I can see the tags. I do have some house plants that I'll be putting up for sale too. I mean, I surely could use to keep the money for myself, but I know a lot of people could use the money. So I think if I can offer something in return that people want, like plants, and then, you know, bonus for everybody. So yeah, autism in there is, it's really, it's a different way of being, and I just hope that if you're watching this, you know, you gain a little bit more acceptance of people on the spectrum. We're just like everybody else. We operate a little bit differently, but we're just humans like everybody else. So, you know, everybody knows autism exists now, but not everybody accepts people on the spectrum and tries to be inclusive of them. So that's what we need. Enough harping. I've got all my seed trays up, and it's time to take my repots in the house and get ready to get my kids off the school bus. So I hope you all enjoyed this chat. If you did, like and subscribe and share my videos around. It helps grow my business. If you're interested in purchasing any of my soaps, you can find me on Facebook and Instagram. Or you can, you know, pop in and knock on my door and come on in and shop. So yeah, I will see you all later. The next video I'm hoping to do for y'all is a garden tour. So I'll see you all later. Have a great day.